You just got to show up and show out for yourself.
Today's guest has been all over the news.
Because you're not even setting aside the time to really show up for these scholarships, to put your best foot forward in these applications, then you're not getting that results that you want, and now you extra mad.
You are proof that it can happen. When your fruit can produce change in the community, you are rewarded with income.
Now, before we hop into today's show, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so that you can be notified every single time we drop a new video. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the show.
We gon' get real, we gon' get right. Oh, building up wealth, we gon' give life. Welcome to the table. Welcome to the table. Build wealth, life. Welcome to the table.
Gabby.
Hello.
What's up? We're going to get straight into it. We don't need to introduce you no more.
Let's do it.
So a couple of years ago, I wrote the book called Debt Free Degree. And while writing that book and doing a lot of research, one thing that I found is that people of color, specifically Black people, we are the ones who are impacted the most by the amount of student loan debt. It's stopping us from building wealth. It's stopping us from buying homes. And you, at a very young age, figured out a system. You figured out how to avoid being a part of that statistic. You did $2 million in scholarships?
Yes.
Okay, let's start from there. I gotta ask this question. Did your parents force you to do it, or was it something that you saw that you wanted to do it, or was it a combination of both? What made you get very intentional about getting scholarships and going that hard so early?
It was really just having the audacity to try to achieve something that hadn't been achieved before.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily set out with the goal to earn $2 million in scholarships and to build a business where I'm also empowering students to be able to earn their own scholarships. It was more about, I knew that my parents hadn't ever gone to college in America before. I'm looking at the prices of tuition, room and board, and all of these other costs. And I'm like, this is not financially feasible for my family. And I don't want to put us in a position where me going to college is ultimately going to affect my younger sister's ability to go to college because we're putting our family in a really precarious financial situation.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm going to find a way to get some free money. I'm going to find a way to be able to earn this degree for free.
Wow.
And when I was doing a lot of Google research, I was stumbling across scholarships, and I'm like, all right, bet. This is the way that I'm going to learn while getting paid to go to school. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know how it was going to happen either, but I knew that if I just kept going, having faith and trying to improve each and every time I submitted the application, success was going to come to me.
Ooh.
So just having the audacity to apply to every scholarship out there that I felt aligned with my credentials and what I was doing in my community, and then just being delusional too, being able to see past all the failures and the rejections that I received and be like, okay, that just wasn't for me. Let it roll off my back and continue going. That's how I was able to earn 7 figures and really have some life-changing experiences that I thankfully didn't have to pay for.
You said that your parents never went to college in America. Where are you from? Where's your parents from? Where are your parents from?
Jamaica, that's where I was born.
You Jamaican?
Yes.
You was born in Jamaica?
Yes.
Okay then. Jamaica, boy. I can say this 'cause I'm still single, but them Jamaican ladies, they fine.
They are.
And hello Jamaica. My God. So your parents are from Jamaica.
Yes.
How long were you in Jamaica before coming over here?
I was in Jamaica for just under a year, and then I actually moved to London. That's where I grew up.
You grew up in London?
Yes.
So you went to middle school and high school in London?
No.
Okay,
I moved to America when I was 13 years old, so I jumped into middle school in Florida.
Okay.
And then I continued the rest of my education in America.
So from Jamaica to the UK,
Yeah.
UK to here. All right, cool. And I'm just trying to get the backstory because I think some people feel as if sometimes when they hear people of your success, they feel as if their parents pretty much gave them that success. And from what I'm hearing from you is that your parents gave you the success as far as in probably teaching you and giving you the wisdom, but they didn't have the blueprint because they never had the blueprint.
They didn't.
What were your parents doing when they got to America for a job? Just a ballpark figure, you know, like.
My mom is a teacher. She's been
School
a teacher
teacher
for decades.
Okay.
Yes, she's taught all grades, ranging from high school to elementary school. But that's where she's still teaching now, in elementary.
Okay.
And then my dad is an accountant.
An accountant?
Yes.
Nice.
So even though they didn't necessarily experience the college application process or what it's like to secure scholarships and grants, from a very early age, one, my parents exposed me to how crippling the reality of like living with an insurmountable amount of debt could be. Like, I was growing up watching the Susie Orman show, watching Dave Ramsey even too.
Come on.
And I was like, I don't really know what debt is, but I know I don't want to have it.
Right.
And then on top of that, they just always poured life into me and encouraged me to speak life into my life. So I was reading books like The Power of Now, The 7 Laws of Spiritual Success, or The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success.
Yeah.
So I always knew that even though I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do or achieve, like I could do anything, whether it was in athletics, whether it was academically, whether it was applying to scholarships or in the college application process. Like, there was nothing that I wanted to do that would ever be out of reach for me.
You know, I like Susie. I like her a little bit. I love Dave, though.
We had no idea.
Yeah. Dave is my guy, man. You know, he forwarded my book, Debt Free Degree, and I worked with him for 7 years. And that's so shocking that your parents had you listening to them, because you're absolutely right, especially people who look like us. You know, we are crippling when it comes to debt. We are making bad decisions, and one of the things that's holding us back are student loans. And the fact that you were like, okay, cool, my parents cannot afford to pay for the kind of school that I want to go to. I'm going to be intentional about going after scholarships. At what age of your life, because a lot of people watching right now have kids who are coming up in your way, who are coming up in your generation, not coming in your generation, but are coming up to that time frame to start looking for scholarships. At what age or what grade would you say, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, freshman year maybe, I don't know. At what grade did you say, you know what, it's time for me to get intentional and start looking for scholarships?
I started relatively late in the game, during my senior year of high school. Before then, I didn't really even know what scholarships were. I wasn't thinking about higher education or college. But once the summer before my senior year hit, I was kind of like, wow, like this is a lot to bear the brunt of all at once. Like, I had to do my standardized testing. Now people are asking me what school I want to go to, what major I want to pursue, what I envision my career path being. And I was just kind of overwhelmed. So once I started looking into it a little bit more, I was like, whoa, like there's a big price tag that comes with going to college. I never really thought about all the intricacies of that before then. So during my senior year of high school, I was like, okay, boom, we got to hit the ground running. We got to make something stick. So it was a lot in a short amount of time, but thankfully it worked out because I was really diligent and disciplined throughout my journey.
Yo, what's going on, fam? Are you ready to make a big career move here by the end of this year? Why not pivot into the flourishing tech industry with the Bethel School of Technology, recognized globally as the sole Christian online tech bootcamp? You see, with African Americans constituting a mere 7.9% of the U.S. tech workforce, I believe it's time to narrow this display and unlock opportunities for everyone in this thriving sector. Bethel Tech is steadfast in its mission to make tech careers accessible, rewarding, and economically advantageous for all individuals. Their comprehensive 9-month program is designed to equip you with the necessary skills to propel you into your technology career and move forward at a high speed. You see, recent reports from Indeed suggest that software developers in the U.S. command an average annual salary of approximately about $103,000. This is well above the national average of $48,000. You see, diversify your tech education by choosing from their specialized programs like cybersecurity and UI/UX design. With Bethel Tech, you're not just kickstarting a career, you're igniting a passion with a purpose. I want you to say goodbye to the prospects of crippling student loan debts and instead invest a mere 9 months to transform your next decade of your professional journey. Step into your potential with Bethel Tech and turn your career aspirations into reality. To begin, I want you to go to anthonyoneal.com/Bethel or click the link in today's show notes. Again, that is anthonyoneal.com/Bethel. Don't wait another moment to take the first step towards a bright and promising future into a career space that can make you a millionaire. Speaking of millionaires, let's get back to today's show. For real? Okay, cool. So, do you remember the first scholarship you applied for?
The first one I applied for, honestly, the first scholarship I applied for was probably a scam. I didn't know what I was doing.
See, talk to me. So you thought it probably was a scam. There are a lot of scams out there.
There are a lot of, it is so easy to stumble across illegitimate scholarships, which is why I try to make it a point to create content that points students in the right direction when it comes to finding legitimate opportunities that they actually have a chance of winning.
Yes.
Because my first scholarship, it was probably, that I applied to was probably a sweepstakes thing where you put in all this like personal information about you, like your phone number, your email, and you never hear anything from them. They're just like, oh, all you have to do is this. You don't have to write an essay. We don't have to know anything about who you are or anything substantive that is really gonna help differentiate you from a pool of applicants, and we're gonna do like some type of raffle. And I was just going based off of the websites and the resources that came up on Google really early instead of really knowing how to filter through which opportunities were actually worth my time. So yeah, the first scholarship I applied for was probably a scam. I didn't know what I was doing.
What's the first scholarship you got? And you was like, yes.
I remember that day so vividly. The first scholarship I ever won was the Coca-Cola scholarship.
Coca-Cola, okay.
It's worth $20,000, and it's one of the hardest scholarships for a high school senior to secure because they typically get over 100,000 applications from students across the nation every single year. And from that, they sift through and they choose 150 winners. So the stakes are high. The competition is even higher too.
Okay.
But that was the first one that I won, and I really needed that win because once I got that, I took off. You know? Because before I won my first scholarship, I had definitely applied to at least 35 different scholarships, and I was trying to remain steadfast. I was trying to remain faithful, and thankfully I did because every time I just kept telling myself, no, I'm winning the next scholarship I apply to. I'm winning the next scholarship I apply to. And to be getting rejected back to back and still having this crazy faith that it was gonna work out for me.
Yeah.
It was a little wild, I'm not gonna lie, but that's what you need because it really is a numbers game, kind of like applying to job applications.
Facts.
You're gonna lose more than you win.
Yeah.
But those wins are so significant. So when I won that $20,000, it was up from there.
So let's talk about that because I talk about the Coca-Cola scholarship inside my book as well, or several of them. And there is a science to making sure that your application stands out.
Yeah.
So what do you think helped you stand out on your application? Was it your story? Was you tapping into maybe you're not from America? Like what made you think to stand out amongst the other 100,000 applications out there?
The Coca-Cola scholarship is all about finding those change makers who are actively in their community, showing that they care for their community, they want to elevate it for the better, and they care about the people around them, right? And this is evidenced in multiple places, not just in school, but also outside of school. So it was definitely my well-roundedness that I feel like really differentiated me and allowed me to ultimately become a Coca-Cola scholar. Because when I think about all of the other amazing people who were in my cohort, I won it in 2018. All of us were doing something in our community that really spoke to us. And you could tell the difference between students who are just like volunteering in a soup kitchen or mentoring kids just to have like something to put on their college applications versus people who like really feel this, really feel empowered and invigorated by the work that they're doing, and they care about the impact that they're having in the world.
So good. Listen, man. Gabby, you talking good right now. Because what I hear you saying is, I tell my community, find your sauce and be that in your community. That will make you millions. It will help you stand out. One thing one of the top things that colleges look for. So not just scholarship applications, but even universities and colleges, jobs. They look at, okay, what are you doing that's benefiting people? How are you stepping up as a leader?
Exactly.
And what I'm hearing you say is like, hey, I tapped into my thing and I became a leader within my community, within my generation, in the way that I can be. And because of that, you stood out.
Exactly.
Because how many people join this particular organization just so they can say, hey, I'm a part of this. But they're really not making any difference.
Right.
And what I hear you saying at what, 17, you were like, hey, I love this. I'm going to contribute to this in my community. And because of that, Coca-Cola said, hey, we're going to give you $20,000.
Exactly. And it's not just about what you put on paper, too. Like, there are multiple rounds that you have to go through.
Right.
Because I think that a lot of students, they see how tedious scholarship applications can be, and they're like, man, I'm not doing that. It's a waste of time.
They weak.
But really, they're trying to vet you. They want to give you this money, but they're really trying to see, are you about what you're talking about? Are you about what's on your resume? And the only way to get to know that really is through your essays or through a video interview, or is by giving you the opportunity to tell your story and what you care about. So don't look at when an application is kind of doing too much as it not being worth your time. See it as you being somebody who's so special and has so much to say that I'm actually going to show up and show out in the different elements of this application, so you have no choice but to choose me.
You said it nice. I'm just going to say, when people see the application, they weak. They lazy. They don't really want it.
Yeah.
And then you're right. They want to weave out the lazy people who are not strong enough, because if you would take your time, this is the spiritual side of me coming out now. If you would take your time to go through this hard process, then that shows them like, hey, if we give you this $20,000, you're going to complete your degree. We're not just going to give you someone $20,000 who wants it easy and they go to college and finds out college is hard and they quit. Now they just wasted their 20 grand.
Exactly.
So what you're showing them is that, hey, I'm going to go through your process, and every single step of the way, I'm going to put my best foot forward. And then that represents your brand. It represents your character and your integrity. And because of that, they're like, yo, we got to look at Gabby. We can't pass up on this. Wait, with Gabby. I'm like, Gabby, wait a minute, Gabby.
Exactly. They want to invest in you. You just got to show up and show out for yourself. And think about it. If you're like submitting your application 2 minutes before the deadline, y'all think people don't look at that, but they do.
They do.
Because I've been able to offer my own scholarships as well, but
Okay.
I definitely could see who like applied to things before the deadline and people who just kind of like put something together right before and are shooting in the dark.
Facts.
And it's definitely a lot of the students who are like applying to scholarships with no strategy who feel the brunt of the frustration even more. Then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that you're not going to win, because you're not even setting aside the time to really show up for these scholarships, to put your best foot forward in these applications. Then you're not getting that results that you want, and now you extra mad. Like, you got to set yourself up for success from the get-go, and that means like being willing and ready to set aside the time to get to know yourself so you can write about what you want, who you are, and the impact you want to have in the world in a way that's compelling and just makes scholarship donors be like, you know what, this is the one.
I'm curious, Gabby, do you remember what are some legit websites? I'm curious.
Oh, yes. I have actually a free downloadable on GabriellaCarter.com where students can like find some of my favorite scholarship resources. But off the top of my head, bold.org is a really great website.
Bold.org.
Yes. And that's one of my favorite scholarship platforms, because not only have I offered quite a few of my scholarships on that domain, but also you can read through the essays of previous scholarship winners.
What?
So you can see, okay, this is the person who won this $10,000 scholarship or $500 scholarship. Let me see what they were talking about. Let me see how they told their story. And you shouldn't emulate it, because you're your own person. You have your own unique experiences, and your path is so like unique and individual to you that you shouldn't want to morph it into somebody else's.
Spell that for me. I'm looking it up right now.
Bold. B-O-L-D.
You said bold. I thought you said bold.org. I was about to say, hold up, this ain't coming up, Shawty. Hold up. Okay.
So
Fighting student debt. Okay. Y'all, listen, I wrote the book. I haven't heard of bold.org.
That's great, especially for high school seniors. Naviance.com. That you have to check with your guidance counselor in your school to see if your school is like aligned with that platform. But for us in Broward County, like our schools were using Naviance. That was great for finding local scholarship opportunities. You can also go to cof.org, which is like...
Hold on, you're going too fast. I'm still on bold.
Bold.org.
This is what we're going to do, y'all. We're going to put these 3 that she just gave us inside of this. But the reason why, well, my grammar, you can tell I didn't go to school like this young lady. The real reason why I have her on the show is because I want to expose y'all to her. Some of you all are going to grad school. Some of you all are in school right now. And this is the kind of woman of who you need to follow. This is the person who you need to follow to get all this education. You need to get my book today, Debt Free Degree, for your kids who are coming up, because I'm going to show you in that book how to start in middle school. But what I love about her story is if you have a high school student, or if you are a high school student and you're a rising senior, and you haven't started, you can still get to it, but you got to be intentional. All right. So we're going to put her website to get her whole free. Say it again.
Free.
Hey, Mike, check. Free. Okay. Free. I'm going to do this. I've never done it before. Free. Free book, right, on how to get the websites, how to avoid the scams. But I want to walk through bold.org real quick. What's the other one? You said bold.org.
cof.org, which is how you can find. Yeah.
.org. Okay,
That's
what's
how
that
you can
for?
find like community foundations in your area that are primarily going to give you local scholarships. Because even though I won the $20,000 Coca-Cola scholarship, that's a national scholarship opportunity. And you really want to be applying to a mixture of national opportunities if you have the credentials for that to make sense, but also local scholarship opportunities, because that has less competition, less students are willing to apply, and more people are blowing those scholarships off because they feel like, oh, this little $1,000, $500, $2,500, it's not going to do anything.
What?
When really those local organizations are going to be dedicated to you in a way that you could probably never imagine. Wow. I've gotten mentors through local scholarship opportunities.
Yes.
I've gotten additional scholarships from local scholarship opportunities because, one, less students are applying. There's even been 3 scholarships that I have won because nobody else applied.
Yeah.
Nobody else applied, so I won by default. And that's more likely to happen with a local scholarship as opposed to like those big number scholarship opportunities that everybody in the nation is vying for.
Yo, she's not capping at all, you guys. She's not. Just last year alone, $100 million in scholarships went unclaimed.
Exactly.
$100 million in scholarships just went unclaimed.
And that's why you can't go in with the mindset that, oh, if I see this person winning millions of scholarships or this person won 10 scholarships, now I can't win any scholarships because they're going to keep taking them or they're going to keep winning. No, you got to have an abundance mindset going into this. Even if you're getting rejected now, that doesn't mean you're going to get rejected forever. And there's always more money out there. You just have to be incredibly nifty about the ways that you're going about finding these opportunities. And something else that just came to me right now is the fact that your local law organizations and firms are so good for like offering scholarships. So if you haven't, check out which law firms are in your general area, scour through their website, see if they offer any scholarship opportunities, because usually they do. And in my personalized scholarship list and also my seasonal scholarship list that like I update that database weekly with different opportunities, a lot of those scholarships end up coming from law firms. So that's some free game for y'all.
Listen, so I'm on Bold Scholarship. Bold.org. Bold.org. CJ, let's just put a little bit up on this on the screen for me. But you have, I'm seeing here $2,000 scholarships, educational level, any. And so if you don't have a high school diploma, as long as you have a GED, you can apply for this one. Educational level on this other one is $500. You got a high school graduate or undergraduate. This could be another any, so as long as you GED all the way up to grad. This is for $25,000, and they give this away every single month. Yeah. So I'm like, wait a minute. Like, so one monthly winner at $25,000 from a program called Niche. Then you're looking at undergraduate, high school, they're giving away $10,000 a year. Well, they're giving away $50,000 a year 5 winners at $10,000 each. You guys, and I'm scrolling. Like
Yes, and
I'm
you can
scrolling.
filter through those scholarship opportunities as well by deadline, by the amount, by race, gender, major. I feel like that platform is definitely one of the best in terms of helping you really niche down to figure out which scholarships you're actually eligible for and which ones you should be applying to.
Your facts. Girl, give me some love.
Hello.
Because scholarships by demographic. They have scholarships specifically for Black people, for Hispanic people, for minority people, for Native Americans, for women, for STEAM, LGBT. What in the world? And so for the Black people, they have over $500,000 in scholarships available right now, with 57 still open. 187 have been awarded already. So this, wow, man, this is, see, Gabby, Gabby was nervous about doing this show, y'all. She was like, hey, but Gabby, you shouldn't be nervous, because here's why. You are proof that it can happen.
100%.
When God was forming you in your mother's womb, he already knew what you were going to be doing at 18, what you was going to be doing at 22, and what you're going to be doing at 35. And I believe that you're going to make millions by helping people avoid hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt.
And that's the best type of purpose work, when you're having a positive impact in the world, when you're feeling self-actualized, and you're helping humanity, and you're making money.
Absolutely. You got to. When your fruit can produce change in the community, you are rewarded with income.
Hello.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what you're doing. So we got bold.org, cof.org. And here's what I love about what you said about community. So every year I give my local church $5,000, specifically just to go towards a scholarship. And here's the truth. The scholarship person who wins that $5,000 don't even know that $5,000 came from me. It is a business write-off, right? So it is that, and which is why, you guys, I really want to echo what she just said. If you can just form the right relationship, right, get inside of your community, and your mentor, your person who gives you the $500 scholarship has a business, and if you can go in there, be quiet, learn, ask the right questions, serve in the community, business people, business owners, we're always looking for a write-off. And so I have a fund specifically set aside for nonprofits and for giving. So if I have someone who's 15, 16 coming here to learn from me because they won one of my scholarships, but then they come up maybe 5, 10 grand short, and at the end of the year, I'm looking to give away some money, and this person has built a relationship with my business, and I see that they're thriving in the community, they really love serving the community, more than likely, I'm going to give it to them rather than spending it somewhere else.
Exactly.
Because I know my fruit is now going to make an impact in that area. And so going to cof.org, which will give you, I'm on their website as well, which will give you access to your local community people, your local businesses. And that's great too. Go to your local church.
Yeah.
My church gives away, Union Church, the best church in the DMV area. Much love to my pastors, Pastor Stephen and Zy Chandler. Every year we do that, and their goal is to give away more. But your local churches are giving away some things here. So you tapping in real good right there. What was the third website that you said? I want you to give away all the websites because y'all got to go to her website to get all this stuff. But you gave us 3. So bold.org, cof.org, and...
The other one I'm blanking on, but this one is for my HBCU students.
HBCUs?
Exactly.
Huh? Talk to me.
uncf.org is a website that y'all really need to be living on. They have so many scholarship opportunities that are specifically for you. And not only just scholarships, but also sometimes the scholarships come with internship opportunities.
Yep.
I know that Chick-fil-A recently had a big scholarship on there. McDonald's routinely has one. UNCF has their STEM Scholars Program, which is like an annual scholarship opportunity that's like worth tens of thousands of dollars. So y'all need to be living on that website because there are so many different opportunities that they have throughout the year that are specifically for you. And sometimes they even have scholarships that are only for certain HBCUs in a specific area as well. So that's money that y'all can really tap into especially. And actually the other website I mentioned was Naviance. That's especially good for high schoolers. but you have to see if your specific high school is partnered with them. But that's a great resource to find ways to build your resume. They have tips on there, they have templates, they have scholarships that are really local to you, because this is that platform like filters based on your location too. It helps you figure out which colleges that you should apply to. It's just a great overall resource that you should definitely be leveraging if you have access to it.
You know, let me tell y'all right now. Gabby know what she's talking about at 22 years old. So Gabby, I know one of the directors at UNCF. She's been on my show a couple of times.
Really?
Yeah. And she is really pro-Black, and she's all about, you know, helping our sisters and brothers build wealth. Kezia is her name.
Awesome.
Professor Keys is what they call it. And she works for UNCF. And she's always like, Anthony, you need to promote me more often. Not me, but she need to promote UNCF.
Yeah.
And one thing I love about UNCF over the years, they've put together over 500,000 students through college degrees. And just in the New York City, Atlanta, Chicago, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. area, they've given away over $11 million in scholarships.
That's crazy.
Right. And so for you to say that you need to live on this website, I want to echo what you just said. This is why, you guys, you all have to plug into this young lady's show. Because I'm trying to get her to get a show, get like her own show.
Manifesting.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to get her to do all that because she genuinely knows what she's talking about. She did $2 million in scholarships for her own. We haven't even talked about the school she went to. We about to go there. we about to get there, right? We about to get there. But we want to give you some practical things to do. Now, I do want to talk about this before we go to your school, because you gave us 3 legit websites. You have a free page, free list on your website. We're going to drop that website in the show notes so you all can go get it. Because every single website that she gave us right now, this goes from any grade level for the most part. There are some that require it's only going to be for your undergrad, but then a lot of them are going to help with your undergrad and grad if you want to get there. But these are 3 great websites. I want to help people though, because I know a lot of people are going to get excited. They're going to hear this. Then they go Google. They're going to Google, and then they're going to come up with a lot of scams.
Yeah.
I got one example of how you know it's a scam. What is an example of, like, how would you identify that's legit or that's scam?
Well, first and foremost, if this is a scholarship that they're claiming is offered routinely, this isn't the first time that, like, their inaugural scholarship, if you can't find the winners anywhere, it's more likely than not a scam. I've posted all the winners of my past scholarships on my website, so y'all know, and you can access their essays to read them. Other scholarship platforms do that as well. I've seen law firm websites do that, beauty websites do that, bold.org do that. If you cannot find who won that scholarship, don't even waste your time.
That's it.
Don't even waste your time.
Look
Even
for
the
the proof.
Coca-Cola scholarship, they post every single year, all 150 names of the scholars who won that opportunity.
Yeah.
That's a way for you to really be able to see, okay, this is legit because they're telling me where their money is going.
Yes.
If it's just always, oh yeah, apply for this $25,000 scholarship opportunity, and you never see who got that money, it doesn't make sense. Because why wouldn't they want to showcase the people that they're investing in?
Facts. You won $2 million. Did you pay for any of them?
Any scholarships? I personally did not, no. I didn't have no money to be paying for scholarships. But I'm not gonna say that it's like a bad investment if you want to pay for a scholarship coach or somebody who can give you a lot more exposure and expertise.
Yes.
Because investing in yourself in this journey is gonna save you time and stress.
Facts.
While I was ultimately able to earn 7 figures in scholarships, that came with a lot of strife.
Right.
I really did not sleep a lot my senior year.
Right.
So y'all get to see like the benefits that came out of this and the wins, but like behind closed doors, there was a lot of sacrifice that went in that can be mitigated if you work with an expert like myself.
Facts.
But outside of that, you do not have to pay to apply for a scholarship opportunity. I personally didn't, but just because you pay for a scholarship opportunity doesn't automatically make it a scam. Some organizations require you to be a member of their society or their group, which obviously comes with a membership fee, which is essentially you paying to be a part of that. I've also ventured into applying for business grants since I've become an entrepreneur. And sometimes you have to pay to apply for an opportunity because they may be doing like a crowd sourcing or crowdfunding type of approach to offering these opportunities. But me personally, I'm gonna tell you, it's not necessarily a scam if you have to pay, but know that you don't have to pay to win scholarships.
Yeah, I want to echo that. I totally agree. Here's what I would say, how to identify if they say this. Give us $1,000, we guarantee you a scholarship.
Absolutely not.
That's a scam. And there's
If
a
they're
lot of
guaranteeing
people.
that you're gonna win, no.
Yes, it is a scam. It is a scam. And it's like, you got to watch out for those who are like, hey, pay us $500, we guarantee you $10,000. It is a scam.
It's giving Cash App flip.
Yo, I be getting some of them cash apps. I'm like, wait, what? Wait, are you serious? And some of my friends got caught with that crap too. I was like, dang, bro, how you, what? I mean, if that was the case, everybody be doing that flip,
Exactly.
you know? But that is so solid. Y'all, so again, we're going to drop her website in the show notes, okay? And we are going to make sure that you all get that information. All right. So now let's talk about this. So you went from 20,000 to you went to 2 million. Are these all different scholarships? Are these like, hey, one school offered me $60K to go to school, they offer me a full ride, or is it a blend of a little bit of everything?
It's definitely a little bit of everything, a combination of outside scholarships, which
Okay.
are basically scholarship opportunities that you can take to any institution that you go to,
Okay.
whether it be public or private. You won that scholarship independently of getting into college.
Right.
And then there were other scholarship opportunities that were more contingent on my attendance at that institution.
Okay.
So one of the scholarships that I was able to win as a Florida resident was the Bright Future Scholarship.
Okay.
And that allowed me to earn a full ride to any public institution based on my ACT/SAT score, as well as securing the International Baccalaureate degree,
Okay.
because I did like the IB program in high school.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of that money as well as the scholarships that I was offered from other institutions like Duke University. I got a full ride there as
Nice.
well. So I had like a lot of opportunities and places I could go to. But then you got to think about the fact that I applied to 35 colleges.
Yeah.
You know, I was applying to scholarships high and wide and colleges wide, high and low, because
Okay.
I wanted to have as many opportunities to choose the best place for me as possible.
Okay.
I just didn't want to be like going to a school because that was my only option.
Yeah.
That was like something that really scared me.
I like that. Top 5 colleges you applied for?
Top 5 in terms of like rankings, or top 5 in terms of what I thought would be a good fit for me?
Top 5 in rankings. Let's put it like that.
Princeton,
Okay.
Stanford,
Okay.
Columbia,
Columbia's dope.
Harvard.
Okay.
I feel like there was another, Dartmouth. I applied to almost all the Ivy League schools.
Did you? We could put Duke in there.
Oh yeah, Duke too.
Yeah, Duke is Ivy League. No, we can't play with that. You know, Duke. Come on now. So Princeton, Stanford, Columbia, Harvard, Duke. Okay. Princeton. What was Princeton's yearly? Do you know?
Tuition?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Okay.
But it was up there.
Yeah,
at
it was in
least
6 figures.
$50K.
Yeah, and I think it's more than that. To live there and everything, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking just tuition was at least $50K.
Yeah. You know me, I'm gonna look it up, man. I think the numbers have changed since they change every year. Princeton's, let's look it up. Let's get the people the right stuff. Princeton's tuition. All right, yeah, you're right. So just for tuition alone, it's $56,000. Okay. So that's just for Princeton's $56K, just for 1 year, just for the tuition. That's not room, board, and none of that. Stanford, I'm gonna see what Stanford is. Stanford tuition. $56K as well for Stanford. Okay, so all these are $56K a year just for that. Columbia, I'm going to say, I think it was a little bit. Columbia University in New York.
Yes.
Yeah, I was about to say, I knew Columbia had to be a little bit more. They had $65K.
Oh,
Good
okay.
God! Harvard is going to be close to that. Not close to that. Harvard should be close to Princeton. I know my, you know what I'm saying? I know my people. Yeah, I know myself, y'all. 55K. And then Duke is going to be a little bit less. Not that much less. Then they're going to be right around like 40, I think. Let's see. Duke University's tuition. No. Wow, Duke done went up.
How much is it?
$60K.
Yeah. You gotta pay big bucks to go to those schools.
What school did you choose?
I ultimately chose Princeton.
Princeton?
Yes.
Why Princeton?
I have two reasons. One, because Princeton is one of the more generous Ivy League schools in terms of financial aid.
They are.
So when I was comparing my packages, I was like, all right, this makes sense.
Yep.
Then outside of that, one of my favorite shows of all time is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And Princeton, Carlton and Will, they went to Princeton. So I was like, okay, we out. Like, it's going to be lit.
You chose Princeton because of Will Smith.
I can't say no.
Will. She deserves a call.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? Will Smith. I don't think they do the table anymore. She don't do the red table anymore. You know what I'm saying? But yo, that is what's up. So you went to Princeton for free.
Yes.
But
because of outside scholarships.
Okay. How much did Princeton give you? Did they give you anything?
They did give me aid, and actually the beautiful thing about these schools is that if you make under between like $100K to $120K, they're more likely going to give you like full tuition off rip.
Right.
Of course, it varies by the actual institution, which is why it's really important for students to actually read like the financial aid and scholarship/grants documents that they have, so you know how they're administering financial aid to you, whether that be loans, whether that be scholarships, whether that be grants, work study. You need to know how this money is being allocated so that if you do ultimately want to appeal your financial aid, you have a strong basis for how they're even determining your aid too. So
they didn't give you enough aid to pay for everything though?
No.
So you had to use your outside scholarships?
Yes.
And did you have any outside, did you get when everyone else was getting refund checks from student loans, were you getting refund checks yourself?
I was able to get some refund checks, but it gets a little like mixy because there is another thing, unfortunately, called scholarship displacement, which a lot of students end up encountering, and I unfortunately encountered too, which is basically when an institution will give you a set amount of aid, and then they get all of your other outside scholarships, and they're like, oh, okay, you have $20,000 coming in, and you've already met all of your financial needs. So instead of disbursing this $20,000 into your pockets directly, we're going to take back $20K, so you could just use this outside scholarship money to replace what we originally gave you. So that could be a really frustrating situation to be in, but thankfully I had some like really understanding scholarship donors, because I communicated with them. I let them know. I even returned some scholarship money because I was like, listen, this money is going to get displaced anyway. It's not going to go to me. So I would rather y'all give this money to another student than it just sit here and like be wasted.
Yeah, and I like how you did that, because especially if you can get it from the community, what I've seen is sometimes they will still write that check to the individual to help them go to school. Right. Right. But then what I do like about the displacement is the university saying, okay, cool. For an example, Gabby, she doesn't need that money, but Justin may need it. And so for us to tell Justin, no, you can't come to school, Gabby is taken care of, she's situated, let's help Justin get inside of school. I'm not disappointed in that. I do wish though sometimes that they say, you know what, okay, Gabby, we was gonna give you 20, we're gonna give you 10. Right. And you can keep the 10 coming back and we'll give you that check back, and we're gonna put this 10 towards Justin. Yeah. I really do wish that they would do that. I understand their logic is let's help as many people as we possibly can who needs it. But at the same time, if you worked your butt off and you got an extra $20,000, you should be able to see those funds coming back to you.
Exactly. You want to reap the fruits of your labor. Absolutely. That's the whole reason you apply to scholarships. And then to win scholarships on top of that, you want to be able to have an education that is affordable for you. Yeah. So it doesn't really make sense when you get to school and sometimes your school is like, yeah, I love all the work you're doing. I'm really proud of you for not only applying to scholarships, but securing these scholarships. But at the end of the day, we're going to take back this money we gave you, put it somewhere else, and now you're left to foot a bill that you really shouldn't have to because you earned scholarships in the first place. Yep.
It's so funny when you go to Princeton's, a lot of people think I have a problem with high-end schools. I don't have a problem with high-end schools. Here's what I have a problem with, is if you got to sit there and take out $100,000, $200,000 of loans to go to Princeton or to go to a Stanford or go to a Harvard. But especially for people of color, and minorities, they actually have a great program to where Princeton really doesn't want you graduating with a lot of debt. And it's even publicly on their website, and I'm looking at it right now. 100% grants, not loans, zero debt. Our generous aid program enables 83% of recent seniors to graduate 100% debt-free. And I think what Princeton is doing is good. I think a lot of our colleges and universities need to have that mindset on how do we help our kids get the education and graduate without the burden of debt. And so I love the fact that you were able to do that. But I got to be curious. You're a black sister from Jamaica. You black.
Yes.
You went to a white Asian, I want to say, atmosphere.
Yes.
Why did you choose that over HBCU?
They
Honestly.
were just giving me more aid.
Come on. That's what I was
And
looking for.
I was honestly thinking about the prestige. I'm not going to sit here and act like it hasn't opened a lot of doors for me, because going to an Ivy League school, especially as a minority, but particularly as a black woman, I gained a lot of social capital. I had to prove myself a little bit less, because people see a name on my resume that's usually better than theirs, and now they think better of me. And it really should not be like that, because just because you go to a top school does not necessarily make you inherently better or more intelligent or more talented than somebody who doesn't.
Yeah.
But that's just how the game is set up. And I knew that very early on. That's why in all these shows like Gossip Girl and all these movies, these kids aren't going to like regular schools. They go into Yale's, Princeton's, Harvard's, because that comes with a certain, there's a certain, flair or assumption about you when you go to these schools. And I remember back in high school when I was interning with Bank of America through their Student Leaders Program, which is also a great opportunity that high school juniors and seniors should apply for. They pay you really well with great internship experience. They fly you out to DC. It's just an overall great time with the summer internship. But while I was there, I was working with the YMCA, and I was stationed at 3 different locations. And at one particular location, my boss was just giving me a hard time. I could tell she did not like me. And I feel like it was because it was I didn't really speak Spanish, so I wasn't as much of an asset in that area, because it was a predominantly Hispanic area in Miami. But once she found out that I got into Duke and Princeton, because I was actually on the phone with the Duke Financial Aid office on the clock, I was like, no, I need to situate this financial aid package. Y'all said I got a full ride. I'm trying to figure out when y'all are flying me out to BSAI, which is a Black students link up for all the Duke admits. She overheard the conversation, figured out I was getting into all these top schools, and now she's treating me so much better because she wants me to help her kid get into these schools too.
Wow.
So I've seen in real time, I have so many different examples of people treating me better once they see the school that I have gotten, the schools I've gotten into, and also the school that I graduated from.
Yeah.
Top of my class, might I add.
Yeah.
So yeah, it comes with a lot of social capital and just makes your life a little bit easier, especially as a Black woman, but also there's a lot of trauma and things that you have to endure as a Black woman in a space that was never designed to cater to you from the inception of these institutions.
Man, listen, I love that. How were your grades in high school?
In high school, I had mainly straight A's.
Okay.
I was definitely that student that was doing everything. I was running varsity track, cross country, and softball. And I was great at it. I check on the records every now and then, and my 2 records from high school in track are still standing to this day.
Are you serious?
Yes. So I'm really proud of that. And then on top of that, I always cared a lot about mental health and just really empowering my community, health-wise, spiritually, and things of that nature. So I started a club called Helping Overcome Problems Effectively at my school. And then I was just excelling in class. I was doing AP classes. I did honors classes when I was a little earlier in my high school career. And then I was also pursuing the International Baccalaureate degree, which I earned.
Love it, love it. Throughout all of this, I just wrote it down on my iPad. I was like, okay, to get a lot of money in scholarships, it's going to take, number one, being intentional. Mm-hmm. Intentional with grades. You had at least you was right around a 4.0 average. Be intentional with applying for scholarships. Be intentional with being active in your community, being actively involved in extracurricular activities in your school programs, you ran track, you became a leader, and be intentional for applying for scholarships and grants. $100 million in scholarships went to waste last year. Y'all, $2 billion went to waste when it came to grants. And so it's not difficult to get into college. No, I'm saying that, I'm put it like this. It is difficult to get the capital to go to college debt-free. But if you're intentional and you put in a hard work ethic, like what you did, it is possible. And what I heard you say, I did a show a few weeks ago talking about how to make millions in your 20s and 30s. And on the last thing that I said is, the sixth tip was don't stop. And when you got declined up front, you never stopped. You won at 20,000, you probably got declined for the next few, but you didn't stop and you kept going. You started getting creative. Let me apply to these schools. Let me apply for their scholarship programs. Let me apply over here. You wasn't just focused on one track. You was putting your eggs when it comes to scholarships and grants and possibilities in every aspect that you could. But what I hear from you, which is what I love, is before you did all that, you worked on the package, and the package was you. You were intentional. You laid everything correctly, like from the very beginning. You just did it very correct. So now when you put yourself on the application, it made you look very, very positive and just like, yo, we got to help her get there.
Exactly.
And so because of that, you're 22 years old today, no debt, have a degree. Did you get your grad?
My graduate degree? No, not yet.
Okay. Are you going to get a grad degree?
I do hope so. After I have a little bit more worldly and business experience, I do want to pivot back in so that I can be very intentional with my graduate degree.
Wow. I love that. All right. So let's end the show on some fun. You ready?
Yes.
You sure?
I think. Ooh, wait.
Watch my show.
Fun for who?
It's gonna be fun for me. So 22 years old, you went to Princeton.
I did.
You know what I'm saying? You running a small business right now. You're helping people get into this. So so you're a Princeton woman, 22, black, beautiful. You know what I'm saying? She is single. I did ask her that, brothers. You know what I'm saying? So
Only men of God, though.
Oh. Are you married?
No.
Have any kids?
No.
Dang, see her face?
No. I'm just
bro, I just said I ain't married. I ain't got no kids. What is your successful 22? Is it hard dating for you being young, successful, black, with the Princeton degree? Is it hard for you? You know I had to ask you that question.
My roommates are going to laugh at this, but I think it is a little treacherous.
Treacherous? You didn't say hard. You said treacherous.
It is treacherous in the dating pool now, especially because I live in New York.
Okay.
So I feel like that pool, it depends on what you want, too. Like, if you're open to dating kind of like everybody, any race, any income level, of course you're going to have a lot more options. But if you kind of want to date people who are of a similar caliber to you, those numbers dwindle very quickly. Like, Princeton was 7% black.
Dang.
And the school is not that big. We had maybe like 5,000 students around that.
Wow.
So, you're talking about a few hundred black people. And then that's a trend that continues across other Ivy League schools and top 20s as well.
Right.
And then just like in terms of how many black men are able to get college degrees too. Like, ideally I would love to be with somebody who does have a college degree. That's not like a deal breaker for me, but I mean, that's where I am, so that's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
And once you just start getting all of your, like, the things that you want in a person, that pool shrinks significantly if you do want to be with somebody who is like equally yoked, but also of a similar, or is also black. I can't speak for other races.
So that's the only thing that's really hard right now in the dating pool is just finding another young black man, 22, with a degree?
That's not the only, it's a lot of them out here.
I was about to say, I know a lot of 22-year-olds, 25-year-olds with a degree.
Yeah, but the emotional maturity.
Oh, I know it.
The willingness to commit.
Oh, I know it.
The people who are not intimidated by my success and my personality, like that.
Gabby,
is a little
are you
harder
really
to come by.
are men really finding you and they're intimidated by your success from Princeton?
Yes. Not just from Princeton, just
Your success, period.
Yeah.
You've been on the news, you're making good money now, you're young, you're successful, very articulate with your words. Her grammar is 10 times better than mine. You know what I'm saying? And so you think men are intimidated by that in the 20s?
They've told me this.
You've had men say,
multiple.
I am intimidated by your success. Give me his number.
It's blocked.
You said it's lots?
It's blocked.
It's blocked? You blocked him?
I'm a big blocker.
Dang! I do not understand why men are intimidated by a successful woman. And every time I have a successful woman on my show, I do ask that question. You know, because it's like, I'm trying to learn. And then I've never asked someone in their 20s. I think you're the youngest person I've had on my show. And youngest...
No, I think Kelly... Is her name?
She is. How old was Kelly?
She was 21.
She was 21?
Yeah, her episode was cool.
And she made, you know what I'm saying? She do a meal, you know? You should connect with her. She's real cool people. I love her heart, love her, and isn't she Jamaican?
That's why I'm really glad that even though moving around from different countries was very turbulent for me, I felt like I got uprooted as soon as I got to build communities.
Yeah.
I've seen the world outside of America.
Yeah.
And when I came to America, that was the first time I've encountered people who sometimes hadn't even left their state before. I have 3 passports, and I've been blessed to not only live in Jamaica, live in the UK, and live in America, but also I traveled to Tanzania with my scholarship program, fully funded.
What?
I interned in Peru as a college freshman. I've been able to just see different parts of the world that allow me to feel very fortified in the sense that I can do anything, I can achieve anything, I can create the life that I want, because I've seen different ways of living.
Yeah.
So I would definitely encourage you to continue traveling and do that with your kids.
Yeah, give me some love.
Period.
That's my girl right there, man. I like Gabby. I like Gabby. I love seeing these young sisters win. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta, at all costs, brothers, we gotta protect them. We gotta protect them and we gotta help them. And so I want to encourage you all to click the link in the show description. Go follow her on Instagram. Go download that free tool so that way you can get your scholarships for your grad programs and for your kids and for your nieces, your nephews, your friends. Let's go break her website. Let's go crash it so we can get this free stuff. And anything that she comes out with, you guys, get it. Hire her as a coach if you're trying to get in the scholarship world, what to do. I'm trying to talk her into doing a course so she can help thousands of people get scholarships because it's needed. And so make sure you all do that. Make sure you get my book, Debt Free Degree. That's in the show notes. And y'all, I love you. It's been an hour-long show. We got to go. And we'll see you on the next show. Peace out.